Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Meaningful Monday. Lots of people here tonight, and many that I haven't met before. Wonderful. We've got 30 people on, which is great. So, very, very warm welcome again. My name is Janine Shaka, and I am doing Meaningful Monday, which is a free webinar on the first Monday of every month, just on a meaningful topic, whatever it may be. I know as many of you came here looking for the silver method. As I said, please just my number's on the chat box there. Just send me a text and I'll send you a free webinar specifically related to the silver method. But otherwise, at the end of tonight's webinar, stay on as long as you want, ask me as many questions as you can, and I will also share the silver method events that are coming up. The next class, just to let you know, is in February. Tickets are already quite a few sold, so if you do want to attend that class, please book very early. The class in November was booked out several weeks in advance, and so was September. So just letting you know, please do book in advance, not to get disappointed and not have a seat, because the numbers are limited. All right, but as for Meaningful Monday, it's recorded. All of them are available on my YouTube channel. It's written at the bottom there, Silver Method Australia. There's over 200 videos, all kinds of topics. So please scroll through the library and find anything that's potentially helpful to you. I just want to let a few people in. And otherwise, tonight's topic is going to be Heal Your Life. And if you've heard of L.Hay's book, Heal Your Life, just put a thumbs up or say yes or a Y in the chat box, and I can see how many people know what I'm talking about here. So L.Hay is one of my inspirational, how can I say, mentors through a book in my life. And I started reading L.Hay's work several years ago. In fact, my very, very first Meaningful Monday ever, or my first two or three, were all based on one of L.Hay's books called The Power Within. And I was sharing chapters out of that book. So she's always been someone who's inspired me. If anyone doesn't know about her life, basically L.Hay was raped as a 5-year-old child by a family friend. And the worst part of it was, and repeatedly, was that her mother knew about it, and her mother didn't do anything to protect her. In fact, she blamed her. And just think of the small little child, how innocent, to carry that guilt, that shame, that blame. Anyway, she ran away from home to get out of that situation, and she also ran away from school. So she had a difficult start in life. And then years later, she developed uterine cancer and vaginal cancer. And she knew straight away when she got the diagnosis, it was from all that resentment that she held in that area of her body from being raped as a child and all that sexual abuse. Some people have said yes, some have said no. Okay. So when she got the diagnosis for cancer, they wanted to, obviously cut it out and do a hysterectomy and surgery. And Louise just knew that negative emotion and resentment had created the cancer. And she thought to herself, well, they can't cut out some of my organs. However, she was thinking, if I don't resolve the emotional underlying root cause and those horrible feelings of resentment and anger, it'll probably manifest somewhere else in the body. And then what, you're going to cut that out, and then it'll manifest somewhere else, and then she'll cut that out. She said, I can't cut my whole body out. So she actually worked with her surgeon and said, can I just have a couple of months? I'm going to do some serious work on myself and see if I can help my body heal. And she did. She did a whole lot of forgiveness work. It was a lot for her to go through. And as she did this, she healed her body, and this became her life's work. And the first book that she published was actually a skinny, tiny little book. I've actually got one, but unfortunately I haven't got it with me. It's called Heal Your Body, and it's like a body dictionary. And in that book, hold on, I've got Heal Your Life here. In the body dictionary, this was L.Hay's first book, which is amazing how she helped people understand what was causing their, here's the book, their health issues. So if I just open the body dictionary on anything, let's just say vomiting, it says violent rejection of ideas or fear of the new. If you go to something like tumors, nursing old hurts and shocks, building remorse, tinnitus in the ear, refusal to listen, not hearing the inner voice, or stubbornness, So you can see it's really helpful. It may apply, it may not apply, but I think 85% or more of the time it does apply. And then from then on, then she wrote the next book, which is Heal Your Life. So I'm sharing this tonight because in October I went and became a certified Heal Your Life trainer. For those of you who know Nancy, she works with me. She came with me and did it as well. And I've been doing personal development as a as my business for since 2016, 2015 now. But I've been working on myself and being really strongly in the personal development space since 2006. And I've done a lot of workshops and a lot of work and many courses and resolved a lot of my own traumas and childhood wounds and my own forgiveness path on many subjects and things. And I was really in a very good place going to attend this course. However, I had the biggest breakthrough of my life on that course, attending it as an attendee, actually to become certified, because you first have to do the first 2 days. And I felt that really as a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that happened, because it was a total blind spot for me. And I've never shared this on Meaningful Monday before, but I'm quite happy to share it now because I feel totally differently about it. I was sexually abused as a teenager, not by one person, but by three. And what it caused was a blind spot in my life that I never knew I had, because I did talk about it, and not to everybody, but to certain friends who I trusted, or family members. I did talk about it, and I always felt a sense of working it out myself and a sense of maturity about it, and and that was all fine and well. But the blind spot that I'm talking about came from a completely different angle. It was the fear of being used, and that caused me to have very low levels of trust. Anyway, the way this whole thing came up, it was completely as if I was blindsided. It just came out of nowhere, and this total huge emotion rose up inside me, and I've never released, I think, like that ever in my whole life. So I'm just sharing that with you. That's my own personal pathway. And now today, here I am as a Heal Your Life trainer, um, and I'm intending to do the first class. Well, I am doing the first workshop in December on a Thursday, Friday, which is the 15th and 16th. And the reason I chose Thursday and Friday is because even when I attended this one that I went on, the trainer said, don't do anything the day after, or if you can, 2 days after, because there's a lot of emotional feelings that you need to process and a lot of reflection required. And now I speak from experience, it definitely is so, and it's necessary. So I've chosen to do the course Thursday, Friday to make sure that people don't have to go to work the day after. So I'm going to be sharing something from Heal Your Life, not so much from the book, because anyone can read the book, which is fantastic, by the way. If you haven't read Heal Your Life by L.Hay, I absolutely, absolutely recommend reading that book. Now, I've read that book and I've read it more than once. However, doing the workshop when I went to Cairns was quite different. It's like holistic learning. Experiences are created and you are in a process. And in the process, it's amazing how, if you're willing, obviously you're willing to change because you go to attend the course in the first place. If you're not willing to change, you won't even book. So people who do go are willing, they're open. And in that process, it's amazing what stuff can be released. So I'm just sharing that as a setup for you so you understand the power of Louise Hay's work. And it's all based on her work, her philosophy, and even the words spoken by the trainer and even myself to become a certified Heal Your Life trainer. When we do the course, when we go through the processes, we are actually reading Louise Hay's specific scripts and words and then getting into these processes. So it's beautiful. It's all I can say is it's all about love. And Heal Your Life is all about love. And it's starting off to love the inner child. And I'll talk about that tonight in this Meaningful Monday. But really, if someone says, what did you do in Cairns and what is the certification? The best way I can frame it up is to say, I've actually become a teacher of love. And I mean that sincerely. And I think love is the greatest, and I know it is, and you probably know that yourself. Love is the greatest, greatest healer hands down, above all. And it's love of yourself and who you are today, right now, and loving your inner child. And for some people, if that might sound weird for you, we all have an inner child, every single one of us. It doesn't matter the age we are. In transactional analysis and psychology, we all know there's the adult, the parent, and the child in every single one of us. So the inner child is always with us, and we all had experiences as a child which have wounded us in some way. There's no doubt, because the psychology of the child back then can't reason and see things the way an adult does. And they've never really been processed from an adult point of view. The child experienced that, and often that can be experienced as some form of trauma. Now, unless we heal those wounds, they're going to show up in our relationships, they're going to show up in our decision making, they're going to show up in the way we deal with opportunities in life, they're going to show up when it comes to money, they're going to show up when it comes to our spirituality, they're going to show up when it comes to our willingness to change. All these things and a whole lot more, even and above all, our health. It shows up in our health. That's why the story of Louise Hay is so powerful. The cancer that she had and healing it without surgery, because of healing those childhood wounds. So I'm very excited to share this and bring this really to Sydney and into the fold of what I do as a business amongst the Silver Method and the other courses that I run. So let me take you through what I've got to share with you tonight. All right, so just to start off, I'd say that transformation, breakthroughs, growth is the pathway to freedom. It's the pathway to healing and total self-love and self-acceptance. Freedom is loving yourself so much that you accept yourself exactly as you are, comfortable in your own skin. And because when you go to, and we all have a journey there. It's not just, I'm here today and I'll be there tomorrow. There's no way. It's a journey, and you continuously break layers away of yourself and things that are, I'll just put on the next words here, might help. Our true self is buried under layers of unhealed wounds, childhood negative programming, emotional traumas, and a multitude of core experiences, such as abandonment, rejection, feeling helpless. As a child, there are so many experiences where the child under the age of 7 feels helpless. If they can't find their parent, if they get lost, if they're calling their parent and they can't hear them, it might only be for 5 minutes or something. But in that moment, that's traumatic for that child, especially if they're very young, like 2 or 3. And hopelessness. That's so I can just say that those, we call them core experiences: abandonment, rejection, helplessness, hopelessness, and lack of control. If anyone has done Silver Manifesting, another course that I run, we deal with these as well in that course. There's a lot of explanation there about everybody has experienced this. So every single person on the planet, bar none, has experienced abandonment. Everyone on the planet has abandonment issues. And it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. And I'll just give you a simple example. If your parents maybe had a dinner or a date night, and they went out one night for dinner, and it was just the two of them, and they left you at home either with your nana or babysitter or relative or whoever it was, and that night you wanted to go with, and you were really small, and you said you want to go with, and they said no, you're staying at home with whoever the babysitter is, and they kiss you goodbye and they leave, and you start crying. As an adult, you understand the child's not abandoned. Okay, as an adult, we can understand they've gone out for a night on their own and they deserve it, and that's healthy relationships and so on. But for a very small child, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it may be, in that moment, that's 100% abandonment. That child cries, his heart is broken, and it honestly feels trauma. So when I say everyone has abandonment issues, we all do. Now, how we are affected by that kind of trauma and what the situation was, and some of them people have had difficult childhood, some have had violent childhood, some have had abuse, like myself, whatever it may be. We all have different ways of processing that, because trauma is not what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside you, the way that you respond to those emotions. And we know one child is different to another child at the same age, to the same experience. So we can never judge anyone, and we can never make light of anyone's situation and say, oh, that's not that serious. It's not like that at all. A small situation can be a massive trauma for one person, and a very massive trauma for someone else can be not as bad for another person. So it depends on the individual. The truth is that why we want to take this journey of transformation, breakthroughs, and growth to get to this self-love and self-acceptance is that's when we become authentic. That's when we become real, our real selves. And authenticity is a requirement for intimacy, for having, and I'm not talking about intimacy, I'm not talking about sexual intimacy. I'm talking about intimacy as in two people relating, two best friends can have an intimate discussion. Family members can have an intimate discussion. You and your partner can have an intimate. So intimacy is that feeling of trust, total connection, where you can really go deep and share everything, all your fears, all your desires, where you can be open, where you can be real. Now, it sounds wonderful, but many people don't do that. They are hiding behind all these layers because of these unhealed wounds. Now, I just want to share this with you. Why am I afraid to tell you who I am? There I was in Cairns, and I'm sharing this because someone in my Silver Method class this last 4 days, we ended yesterday, said that me telling this story I'm going to tell you now gave her permission to release in the middle of a completely unrelated exercise that had nothing to do with releasing anything. It was just watching a video of the brain and how the brain works yesterday. And the person had this release. And he said it was because of the story I told. So the story was that we were going through these processes in Heal Your Life, the actual workshop. And I never really had a major breakthrough in the room. Okay, some people did. There were all kinds of situations going on there. They were beautiful. It was releasing for many people. And there I was thinking, yep, I did have a little bit of an emotional shift here and there. I did have a bit, but nothing major. However, the night I went to sleep, I started to process some things. Something happened that triggered me, and I got this real fear come up, a fear of being blindsided, and I didn't know what happened. And then I fell asleep, and then I had a dream, and the dream was quite profound. And in my dream, L.Hay came into my dream, and I had even had her speaking to me. So all of this happened through the night. The next morning, I'm waking up and I'm processing all of this that happened through the night, and I'm feeling funny feelings and things are happening. And there I go down to reception because I've lost my pajama pants. I can't find my pajama pants the day before. And I'm convinced that housekeeping wrapped them up in the sheets when they changed the linen because we were there for 10 days. So I'm down at reception talking about, can they please look in housekeeping for my pajama pants? And in that moment at reception, the tears just start to come up and I cannot control them. So now I'm standing at reception and I'm not trying not to cry because I don't like to cry in public. And I'm turning away and the tears keep coming, the tears keep coming. And then Nancy's there with me and I said, Nancy, please just tell reception what I need. And she said, what's the matter? Are you so upset? I said, I can't talk now. So upset. Eventually, let's get sorted. We're going to have breakfast. I'm trying to control myself and contain it. I'm sitting down at breakfast. I cannot eat. I just want to cry. And what happened in that moment was the thought of everything that happened the day before, the dream and what I processed in that night before. And then this book, I'll just bring it up on the screen. This book that I'm showing is a photograph of my own book. Hear this. I bought this book when I was 15 years old in Cape Town at a flea market, and it's called Why Am I Afraid to Tell You Who I Am? I've kept that book. I just want to show you the pages sticking out there. The book's completely falling apart. I've read it back to back so many times from age 15 through my life, and I always loved this book. Why? Because I related to it so much. I was so afraid to tell so many people who I really am. And what am I afraid of? I was afraid, I don't know, of my trust being broken, maybe being judged. And I could never, there's some parts of me I could never tell. So that morning when the tears started to come, this book came in my mind. By the time I'm at breakfast, I was talking to Nancy and I'm saying there's a book that I've got. I must bring it in to show you. It's called Why Am I Afraid to Tell You Who I Am? And as I say that, now the floodgates have opened. I can't stop crying. So eventually I had to leave breakfast. I had to go upstairs to the room. And I have never cried like that ever, I think, in my life, except when my younger brother passed away. So I had this massive release. Then I composed myself, got back down to the next session, that morning, and I apologized. I was 5 minutes late before the class started. And I said, I just had my own breakthrough. So everyone goes, oh, yay. And they're all clapping for me. Meantime, I'm feeling completely exhausted and everything's just happened and all of that. And then you think it's all done now. Well, it wasn't enough. By that same day, lunchtime, I actually couldn't go to lunch. We all have lunch together and it's really lovely and beautiful. I had to go back up to the hotel room, and Nancy came with me, and I just had to share more and get it all out. And there was another major release. So I'm just sharing that with you because this, what I'm telling you, happened not just that day and not to that degree, but for several days after the program. Once you are willing to open up and start to heal, it's amazing how the subconscious mind will give you what you can deal with. And I could deal with it, and I wanted to deal with it, and it will deliver it. It'll never give you what you can't deal with. I'll just say that. And it'll never give you too much, and it'll never give you too little. It'll give it to you just right. So it's funny how this book here, I just took these photos of these two quotes out of this book that says, why am I afraid to tell you who I am? And it says there, but if I tell you who I am, you may not like who I am, and it is all that I have. Do you know that that is a problem for thousands and thousands of people? They can't be 100% themselves because they're afraid. And we all have that to some degree. And that's why to read a book like You Can Heal Your Life, or to do the workshop, is so valuable. You heal those inner wounds, and then you're not afraid anymore. You want to share who you are. You want to be more intimate with people, and you want to be more vulnerable and authentic. And you know what? Your relationships get better, and the depth of them really improves. And that's really fulfilling. And that's a beautiful life. And the other thing is, when you do that, you give others permission to do the same. And that's the beauty of it. And then this other quote here, if I expose my nakedness as a person to you, do not make me feel shame. And that was me. I was the one who felt shame. I don't know why I felt shame. I was abused. The abuser should feel shame, but it never happens that way. It never does. The person feels shame. And you try and work that out with a reasoning, a rational mind. You cannot, because it's the psychology of the child. And there's so much on that subject. I don't want to get into that now because that's a whole other discussion on its own. But I'm just sharing this because I thought it was absolutely weird and amazing and uncanny that there I am, 40 years later, or whatever it may be, or somewhere around there, 35 years later. And as I'm getting all this emotion rising, this book pops in my head that I haven't looked at for so many years, and I bought it when I was 15 years old. So, life does connect us back to things from so many years ago, and it's all perfect and it's all meant to be just that way. So, one of the lessons that I can share with you for yourself and just for your own benefit, whether you do the program or you don't, or you read the book, whatever it may be, is forgiving your inner child is one of the most necessary healing processes every single person needs to do, because our inner child suffers from guilt, shame, and regret. And the guilt, shame, and regret that our inner child carries can be driving forces that can lead us in making decisions. And let me tell you, some of these decisions in life are not the best decisions. They're not the best for your relationships. They're not the best maybe for your business or your career. And some of them may not be the best decisions even for your health. So what I'm talking about here are things like people pleasing. If we have enough guilt about, not being good enough, or we're not enough, or things like that, we will be people pleasing. And when we're people pleasing, we are not authentic. We're not ourselves, and we're too afraid to say no. And when we're afraid to say no, who are we betraying? The only person we're betraying is ourselves. And when we betray ourselves, I have to tell you, that's the highest form of betrayal. No one in your life can betray you and hurt you as deeply as self-betrayal. And we may not know that, or we may not look at that or face it head on, but that really is the truth. And when we go there into a process to forgive our inner child, it's really beautiful and it really is healing. And you can eventually talk about things and they don't make you cry anymore, or you're not afraid anymore, or you feel, as I said, just comfortable in your own skin. So things like a fear of being used or a lack of trust can show up in your life because of this inner child, guilt, shame, and regret. Shame is shutting down. So if you shut down, or your partner or someone in your family or your friendships, when things get a little bit too much to deal with or confrontational and someone is shutting down, you must know that's a deep inner child wound, and probably from something like shame. Avoidance is another one, avoiding people, avoiding situations. Because what happens is the inner child goes like this. If imagine the inner child being another one and you as the adult as a different one. So you two, kind of two people in one. The inner child's going like, no, 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 you're never going to go there again. You're not going to do that again. You know how that hurt the last time? I'm not prepared to let you do that again. I'm here to protect you. You cannot go into the situation again. Just avoid it. Just go away. Just keep quiet. Just go hide. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. That's too painful. Don't do it. That's the inner child trying to protect us. And the other thing I learned on this course is that your ego, that always, we know what a big ego is. We know someone with a big ego. Um, the ego is the inner child. When I learned that, it was like, poof, what an epiphany. Now it makes sense. When you sometimes get very egotistical bosses, I mean, I've had many of them in my life. They get into the boardroom and they must know it all and they must be the best thinker in the room and they must top everyone's suggestion. That kind of big ego thing, if you can just look at that a different way now and think that's the inner child of that person trying to protect the little child inside for being humiliated again, for being embarrassed again. So it comes out with this bravado persona and we call it a big ego. It's not a big ego. It's a terrified little boy or little girl inside them. So when we start to really look at ourselves and see ourselves through a different light and love ourselves and go through processes to love ourselves and accept ourselves completely exactly as we are, not having to change first. Like so many people had beliefs, we had to write things down. All of us did. I could love myself more when I've lost weight, or when I've finished that thing, or when I've finally accomplished that goal, or when I stopped doing that thing to myself, or when there's all these things. I love myself more when. No, we need to learn to love ourselves and accept ourselves exactly as we are. And it's really this inner child relationship. Also, if anyone ever has the feeling of wanting to hide, it could be holding your business back, that you don't want to be out there. That's again the inner child trying to protect you. If you can heal that, you won't have that fear. That fear just dissolves and goes away. You won't have it because you know what? You're comfortable in your own skin. And if you love you, well, that's all that really matters. And the best thing is when you love you, you're more attractive. So if you think people love you to whatever degree now, if you love yourself, they're going to love you more. So it improves everything, not your relationship only with yourself, your relationship with everyone improves. Okay, so I love this. I wrote this. It's no one else's quote. Dare to heal and become whole. I dare anyone to heal and become whole. And I say it like that. You know why? Because some people are too afraid. They're too afraid to deal with those things or go through that door. They're too afraid to open that door. And for me, that personal breakthrough that I had, I'm telling you honestly, it was the biggest breakthrough of my life because it was a blind spot. I never even knew I had it. However, just booking to go to attend the course and then become a trainer, I was willing. So if anyone does book for Heal Your Life as a workshop, you wouldn't do that unless you were willing. So if you are willing, the process will definitely work for you. And if you're not willing, you probably won't book. But I'm here to just say, I dare yourself to heal. Why? Because everything in your life will improve, including your income. And I really do understand this because when we love ourselves more, we value ourselves more. When you value ourselves more, you receive more money because you feel worthy and deserving of it. So it's even related to that. And if it comes to health, if anyone listening has got health issues or family members with health issues, I urge you, go and pick up a copy of Heal Your Life, find the body dictionary, scroll through it, or read the book, get the audio book. and start to listen to it, to understand that conditions of health that are over the long term, I'm not talking about suddenly breaking your leg, but even suddenly breaking your leg is related to something we are getting a need met because we can't speak our truth. So that's what then the body speaks for us. So, for example, if a person has some illness that prevents them from taking all the daily responsibilities that they have to take, then they have a reason not to have to do those responsibilities because they're ill now. But they didn't have to become ill if they could honor themselves, love themselves enough to say, no, sorry, I'm not doing all of that. I need some self-care. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm going to be looking after myself for the next couple of days and not actually run after all of you kind of thing. If we could say that, we wouldn't have to manifest the illness. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, please put it in the chat box and tell me. And if I am, just say yes when you're making sense. But we do often manifest because we can't say what we need. So we get our needs met that way. I had shingles years ago when I was in corporate, and I know it was from being burnt out. I wanted a rest so badly. I felt too guilty to ask for one, thinking that I need to perform and overperform. That's another childhood wound, is that we're not good enough, so we have to overperform to be loved. That's a childhood thought. That's not an adult thought. And that we carry, if we don't heal that, we carry it through into adulthood. So we overwork, workaholics. We just go over the top. We want to deliver too much, work long hours. We got to always be perfect. You've got to always do the right thing because the inner child doesn't want to feel shame or not loved. So just, do so much more, and then you can get that love that you really need. But if you heal that wound, you don't need to do all of that. That all stops. Your body can heal. You can open your mouth. You can speak your truth. And above that, and better than that, is not just speaking your truth. It's what? It's living your truth. And that really, really, really is freedom. There is no better feeling in the world. I cannot tell you, after that what happened to me in Cairns, I felt like a whole mountain was lifted off my shoulders, and I never even knew I was carrying it. So it just feels amazing. It really does. Okay. So just here are a couple of things I want to mention. Going through a healing process and accepting that's the wrong spelling. Accepting. I actually want to fix that. I don't know how I put that in. Okay, I can't get out of the presentation. Sorry, it's ACC. Going through a healing process and accepting your inner child, no matter how hurtful, is necessary to become comfortable in your own skin. And that's what you really want. Forgive yourself and release all shame and embarrassment. Imagine that. That's freedom. Speak to, love, and nurture your inner child kindly. So for anyone listening, I know this might sound a bit bizarre, but this is in Louise Hay's work. It's in the 21-day Learning to Love Yourself. I've given so many people that PDF. If any of you know me or attended any of my other courses or coaching clients, you'll know I've shared that with you. And you can get that for free from me if you want. Just put it in the chat box or text me. My number's in the chat box, or Google it. The 21-day Loving Yourself Mirror Work PDF by Louise Hay. You will know that the exercise in there, which I'm going to tell you right now, and if you're hearing this for the first time, it might sound weird. Please trust me. This is one of the most powerful things you could do. You find a little photo of yourself, I don't know, 5 years old, 7 years old, and stick it on your bathroom mirror. And just have a chat to that child. And you tell that child that you are going to love that child unconditionally. You are going to protect that child, and you forgive them for anything, everything and anything. And you are here to love them, because what we actually need to do to become whole as adults is actually reparent ourselves. And the way you reparent yourself is to talk to your inner child. So if you do Louise Hay's work, you'll see she wakes up in the morning. Louise, she used to call herself Lulubelle. And she'll say, come on, Lulubelle, we're going to have fun today. We're going to really have a great day. And I'm looking forward to everything we're going to do together. She talks to inner child as if there's another person there. It might sound crazy to some of you. But you know what? If you just did this for a couple of days, or just looked in the mirror or looked at the photo and said, even if you had a nickname as a kid. When I was a kid, my nickname was Tina. All my family call me Tina still to this day. My friends from primary school, who are still friends today, call me Tina. So when I look at my photo, I say, Tina, I love you. I really, really love you. So try that, or look in the mirror after this webinar before you go to bed, and look in your own eyes and say your own name, like Janine, I love you. I really, really love you. And see how that feels. If you feel comfortable, great. It means you're in a good relationship with yourself. If it feels weird or really friggin' awful, or you don't like it, or stupid, or anything like that, I'm here to say you need it the most. We do need to love ourselves. It's the most important love relationship of your life. Okay, learn to protect your inner child so it stops trying to protect you, because that's the ego. And the way to protect your inner child is to literally speak to that photo of you and say, I'm here to protect you. Nothing's going to happen to you. I'm here and I will always be with you. And I'm here to look after you. I'm here to love you and give you everything you need. And you know, some people, when they do that exercise, they cry because it really touches a nerve and it hurts. And I know this might sound a bit out there. I hope it doesn't. But if it does, I invite you to have an open mind and maybe Google some of Louise Hay stuff on YouTube relating to the inner child. It's really powerful work, how it changes us deep within. Then facing your demons. If we do face our demons, they disappear. And the demons are things like abandonment issues, rejection issues. If we have rejection, abandonment issues, you know how difficult we are as partners in a relationship? We hard work, man. If you know anyone who's a high maintenance partner, that's from rejection and abandonment issues. And the other thing is people who are very controlling. They are very controlling because when they were a child, they felt completely out of control. Now, there's nothing really wrong. Every single person has to some degree these what we call shadow values. We all have them. There's another webinar of mine on shadow values on my YouTube channel. Please watch it if this is of interest to you. It's really, really very good. Shadow values are our basic needs that we hide under shame and guilt. So we all want attention. We all want, to kind of be in control of situations. We all want to be validated. But we're not going to walk around saying, hey, I really need attention right now. Because as a child, if you ever did that or looked for it, we were told to feel shame. We were told something like this: you can't have all the attention all the time. Go and play. The adults are talking now. So all of this attention that we need is buried under layers of guilt and shame. But our true power lies there. And I mean that. All your potential and power is hidden under a massive concrete ceiling of shame and guilt. So we feel okay to say, I want love, but we're not okay to say, I want attention. You know, we're okay to say, I'm very conscientious, but we're not okay to say, I want to be in control. So if we can find an empowering outlet to express our attention needs, control needs, some of us have rebellious needs. They're all all of these are childhood traits, every single one of them. Control, every child controls the room. They all get validated. They all get attention. They all are superior. Let's be honest, a child is superior in any situation because they get all the focus. We all have these needs still as adults, but we bury them under shame and guilt. So when we heal all our wounds, we find empowering ways to receive these things we need in a wonderful, healthy way. So, for example, a person who's got control issues and doesn't know how to heal themselves and have it in a healthy way, they will be overly controlling in their relationship or their friendships or as a boss and a colleague. No one likes a controlling person. But if you had it in an empowering way in your work, let's say it's my work, if I was expressing that control in a healthy way, I'd make sure that my course runs properly, that the manuals are correct, that people have what they need to do the course, that everything's right, there's chairs in the room, the thing's running on time. That's also control, but that's in a healthy way. And providing good service is also a form of control. So I hope that makes sense. All right. To truly love your inner child may require concerted effort over a period of time. I don't even say may, I say definitely requires a concerted effort over a period of time. And the journey never ends. The layers keep coming, keep coming. No matter how much healing you do, when you get to that next level and you heal and you love that part of yourself more, at the right time and the right process, another layer will come. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's all good. I embrace it. I love it. I look forward to it. It makes my life richer and makes me a better person. A great safe space and process is attending a Heal Your Life workshop. Why? Because in a Heal Your Life workshop, the only way I can describe it is you're in a container of love. Total, unconditional love. Everyone in there, before we begin, is absolutely in a place of non-judgmental awareness. So we're aware of ourselves first and foremost, we're aware of others, but 100% non-judgmental awareness. So we hold space with total love. And when a person's in an environment like that, where you can trust the process fully, it's absolutely astounding what you can release and heal. And sometimes it's just being witnessed. It's just being able to talk without anyone trying to fix you, without anyone trying to heal you or trying to tell you what to do or to comfort you and make you stop crying or whatever it is if you're crying. Just to witness you. It is one of the most powerful and transformational experiences ever. And then I say that in the container of love that can take you gently to the edges of your comfort zone, very gently, and then gently nudge you to explore what's on the other side of your comfort zone and begin to love your true self. And that's what we call a breakthrough. So when I became a Heal Your Life certified trainer, all I can say is it healed me even more. Here I went to get the certification and I left there being so much more healed myself than ever before. So I'm very grateful. That's the lady who trained me. Her name's Trisha Sharkey. And there's Nancy. She did the course with me. It was just wonderful. For those of you who don't know Nancy, she works with me in my business. Just a lovely day. So there's the certification. I'd like to do a quick exercise with all of you now. Just grab a paper and pen if you haven't got one. And you can unmute your mics if you want to talk to me, feel free. But just take out a paper and pen if you can. And I want you to think of a situation in your life, any situation, that is a pattern of frustration, annoyance, irritation, anger, or resentment. It can be another person, or it can be an institution, it can be the government, it can be anything, or it can be a condition. I want you to think of that situation and write down on a piece of paper as many things as you can that answer the question, what do you believe about that situation, person, or condition? I'd like you to do that right now. I'm going to give you just 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Just write down. Let me put on some music here. I'll just give you a minute. If you don't mind, just write down something, and I'd like everyone to do this. It's for yourself. You're going to get some benefit out of it. So just try this for yourself. What do you believe about the situation? If you can get 5 statements, you're doing amazing. And be sure to write it down. Don't think, oh, it's in my head. No, I want you to actually write it down. And write down everything you believe about that situation, that person, that condition. That annoys you, that irritates you, makes you angry, triggers you. What else do you believe? And don't hold back, don't be shy. This is a you and you deal. If you've got 5 statements, just put your hand up or a thumbs up on the buttons below. There's some buttons there at the bottom or the top of your screen. Just put a thumbs up. Or if you've got 3 statements, it's enough. Has anyone got 3 statements? 2? Okay, John's got 2. Thanks, John. Has anyone else got this finished? If you're done, just type in the chat box how many statements you could get. Here we go. 3, 6. Excellent. The more the better, because you're really helping yourself. 3, 5, 4. Excellent. All right. You guys have done very well. 5. Very good. 4. Okay. Well done. Well done. 4. Excellent. All right. So what I'm going to ask for now, I want one person to be willing to share. Just one. And we're going to help you with this. Just something simple which will help you already start to shift this slightly. Anybody want to share? Just unmute your mic and come on.
Okay, I'll speak.
Oh, thank you, Susanna. That's what we call bravery. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there was a recent situation, probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and this lady, she does have, okay, she has an image issue. She obviously has self-love issue as well, but she has a very, very big ego. And she's a bit of a storyteller.
All right, so maybe share what you wrote down.
Sorry? I just wrote that, that how my perception of the situation. So there was a situation where we had a disagreement and she became quite aggressive. I was very calm, but she came quite aggressive because I said to her that you don't allow people to finish what they're saying. You keep interrupting and you sidetrack. So I think I got irritated because she's dismissive.
All right, so can you?
And I found,
yeah. What I'd like you to do, if you can share what you wrote down, so share the belief statements. I believe, and then give me the sentence, because you want to change those. We want to rewrite those beliefs. So I want to show you how you can do that. So just share with me 1 or 2 that you, even one sentence that you wrote down that starts off with I believe. What do you believe about that situation?
I believe that she had a trigger. That's what I believe, through she felt that I was being dismissive towards her. So, and I thought it was the other way around. So there's obviously something that's similar between her and I, obviously.
Okay, so I believe she had a trigger thinking I was dismissive. It's
Yeah,
right.
towards her. I thought
Yes.
it was the other way
Then,
around.
and then the other
Yeah.
one is I believe that she was dismissive.
Mm,
Okay. So I'm just asking you to do that for no other reason. There's no
mm,
except to for us to explore our own beliefs. So Louise Hay's philosophy, which is a whole chapter in her book, and her philosophy is you can get it online. You'll find it on YouTube. She shares it everywhere.
mm-hmm.
But the very first thing she says in her philosophy is what we believe becomes true for us. And if we change what we believe, we can transform our experience of life, right? So I
Yeah.
just wanted to, and it doesn't really matter if this relationship is important or not important for you. We're going to use it as an example. So let's just assume that this was an important relationship for you, just for the benefit of everyone, and you did want to transform it, and you felt you kept bumping your head. I'm just using it as an example, and this kept happening. If you had the belief, I believe she had a trigger thinking I was dismissive, or I believe that she was dismissive, then I invite you, let's rewrite those two statements as a positive
Yeah.
affirmation and see how you go. So let's see if we can do this together. How would you change that belief? I believe, like, what is it that you would want out of relationships?
Okay. Well, she's a work colleague. So um, mutual respect. I mean,
Okay,
yes.
mutual respect. So
Yeah.
let's write a positive affirmation. Something like all my
Mm,
work relationships are ones of mutual respect.
yeah.
Okay? Are
Yeah.
ones of mutual respect. Anything else that you would prefer, that you want to create? Let's write it as an affirmation.
Okay. I suppose the misunderstanding, I presume a clearer, obviously her perception was a bit distorted, or she just reacted through her ego.
Yep. So tell me what.
So,
Yep.
so then, yeah. So then I obviously was
I'm easy.
I was trying to calm her down, but probably in the wrong way. So because she reacted to the way I calmed down, I think it was, yeah, that's when I felt that probably I was dismissive then. So two people doing it the wrong, communicating the wrong way doesn't make it right. So
All right. So
um,
Susanna, give me a positive affirmation regarding that
uh,
situation.
okay. I think I should have reworded. Maybe I shouldn't have said it in that way. I should have probably
Or just create a
not.
brand new one. Brand new. Start
Okay,
from
a
a,
brand new.
yeah,
Okay,
like
yeah,
just a
good.
positive
Okay,
statement about what you'd
okay.
like.
What I would like. Oh, probably to reword how I said it to her. Probably.
Or is it something like I'm always well and easily understood?
Sorry. Say that again. Sorry.
Something like this is what we want to create. How's this statement
Yeah.
fitting for you? I'm always easily and well understood.
Oh, yes. That probably would be good. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm always easily and well understood. And then the first one we came up with was all my work relationships are ones of mutual respect.
Yeah.
And do you want to try another? Does anyone else listening want to unmute their mic and just give any
Yeah.
positive affirmation regarding a work situation? Anyone? Just type in the chat box, give it. Just give any positive affirmation you like. Let's just see what comes from yourself, Susanna, or anyone else who's listening. Just type them in the chat box. Come up with any that you want. My relationships are all happy and harmonious. That's one. My relationships are all happy and harmonious. Here's some on the chat box. Someone's written.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I'm a valuable member of my team. Well done, Mag. There we go. I am a valuable member of my team. That's actually excellent. So, Susanna, in that moment of irritation, you didn't feel valued. So, an affirmation would be, I'm a valued member of my team. So, as well as valuable, valued. So, that was really good, Mag, putting that out. I'm valued by my colleagues. Thanks, Karen. I am valued. Because if you were valued in that moment, Susanna, you wouldn't feel triggered because you were not valued, and that's what upset you. I communicate effectively, I listen, and I'm heard. Beautiful, Jacinta. My job gives me satisfaction. Thank you. Nice, Kayleen. I say right and positive things to people. Yes, nice. Mickham or Mike M, not sure.
That's Mike.
Oh, hi, Mike. Hey, welcome back.
Thanks.
Christine, all my communications will be clear, kind, and supportive. These are great, guys. I'm always treated fairly and respectfully. Beautiful, Judy. That would suit Susanna 100%. Am I correct, Susanna? I'm always treated fairly and respectfully. Wouldn't you like that, Susanna?
Well, no, but I am. I am treated, but except from this lady.
Okay,
So
but
everyone,
let's say from this lady. If that was true, wouldn't that be nice?
oh, if she was that way, but she doesn't treat, it's not just me. She has triggers with a lot of people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So my question is,
but it's probably I needed to, she triggered me. And I think what annoyed me is that she actually triggered me. And I'm usually, I mean, someone witnessed it and said, Susanna, you were calm. But I said, the thing is, yes, I was calm, but I triggered her. So I should have probably worded, because usually I'm the one that she comes and always talks to. So because everyone steers away from her because she has this terrible ego. She's a storyteller and blah, blah. So I tend to be the person that's quite tolerant towards her. But it's the first time that actually she's triggered me to have a reaction to her. So
all right, I hear you. I hear you.
yeah.
So what
yeah,
I want to, so the point
yeah,
I want to make is, so Susanna, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. So there's probably something within me. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
No. So
I
we're
can
not
hear
trying to
you,
look. Yeah. So we're not looking to blame you or anyone. We're just saying in that situation, if we could get some great affirmations, they've all on the chat here. There's some excellent ones. If we took those, I'm a valuable member of my team. I'm worthy to be equal. I'm always treated fairly and respectfully. All my communications, whatever they are, whichever fit for you. If you just took 2 or 3 of those and affirm that every day, a few times, maybe driving to work or traveling to work, whatever it may be, it would become true for us.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a fact. So what we believe, our beliefs create our living experience, and we can change our beliefs by writing positive affirmations. So I just wanted to use that as an example. So for all of you who wrote down your own beliefs in the exercise, I'd like you to, for yourself, write down some positive affirmations, maybe when we finish this call, for yourself. Practice them every day and see for yourself how you can transform a situation with a positive belief, because what we believe, we tend to expect. So I just really love this by Louise Hay. I'm going to read it. If you want to close your eyes and listen to it, feel free. It's really beautiful. I'll just read it here. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I believe in a power far greater than I am that flows through me every moment of every day. I open myself to the wisdom within, knowing there is only one intelligence in this universe. Out of this one intelligence comes all the answers, all the solutions, the healing, and all the new creations. I trust this power and intelligence, knowing that whatever I need to know is revealed to me, and that whatever I need comes to me in the right time, space, and sequence. All is well in my world. That is really beautiful. for any situation, for any day. I just really love that. That's the kind of thing that a person could benefit from recording in their own voice, even with some gentle music in the background, and playing it in a relaxed state, almost like a form of auto-suggestion or self-hypnosis or whatever, just to put that into your mind. That's really, really beautiful and powerful. And thank you very much for everyone who wrote those affirmations there on the chat box. Really, they're all great, and thank you so much. All right. So my question is, are you willing to change? That's just a question for everyone. It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer me. But think for yourself, are you willing to change? Because once you make a decision that you do want to let go of the blocks in your life and the things that keep bumping up, when we bump up against things and things become difficult, the universe absolutely conspires to make things happen and transform really quickly. And then when it comes to making progress, when you do start focusing on healing your inner wounds, what I find is that from the moment that you decide you're willing to change, the process can and will absolutely work for you. But then there's this transitional period, and that never ends. It's ongoing. And sometimes in the beginning, we kind of make progress and feel like we slip back, and then we're going back and forth because we're trying to settle into the new version of ourselves, and there's an old paradigm there. Now there's a new becoming, and it's just a bit of back and forth until we get there. Just like a child learning to walk, takes a few steps, falls down on his bottom, and then gets back up again, walks a few steps, falls down his bottom, and then eventually is able to walk and move forward. And that's exactly like us in our life. So the layers of healing for each and every one of us never end. It's just this forever unfolding of self-discovery, because when we realize, and I'm just going to say this, so thank you, Susanna, for being the participant. Every time we triggered, every time, regardless of that person or who they are or what program they are or how different they are or how difficult they are or what kind of person they are or how many people struggle with them, let's take them and put them off the hook. The statement is, whenever we are triggered, there's an unhealed wound within us. And that's not very easy always to hear or to accept. But once we do and have the opening and the willingness to say, okay, I'm going to actually have fun with this and be open and receptive to self-discovery. Because as we discover ourselves and are open to changing, getting out of our comfort zone and healing those wounds, you'll get less and less and less triggered in your life till eventually these kind of things don't bother you anymore. And you are the one who is free and really in a different place. And through your own example, you actually inspire others. And people will look to you and you start to model relationships for others or human interaction with others. So it really is about self-discovery, understanding our old beliefs and our unhealed wounds, and just going further and further and deeper and deeper. Thanks, Karen. She has to leave. Okay, definitely self-hypnosis. Very beautiful. Thank you, Kayleen. All right, thanks for all your comments there. All right, it's 9:10. What I'd like to do is just start a guided meditation. I might just mix this with our ending meditation. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask you guys, I'll just guide you through it. It's a visualization exercise for yourself for change. I'm going to ask you to imagine entering a corridor within you that's got many doors. And the doors are all kinds of things like joy and peace, healing, prosperity, love, self-love, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, freedom, maybe more self-worth, self-esteem, or self-love. And then the other doors, which I haven't written on there, doors like resentment, guilt, fear, stress, anger, hatred, self-rejection. And as I guide you intuitively, decide within yourself which doors you want to open and which doors you want to shut as you move forward, as if you're moving forward within yourself in your own life. So I'll guide you through that. Otherwise, just before I do the meditation, just to close off and give you the information about the next events and what's happening. If anyone is interested in attending Heal Your Life, Really what we do is we understand negative thought patterns, negative beliefs. We work on the mind-body connection. So if anyone does have an ailment, we actually have an exercise where you talk to that part of your body and it actually gives you answers as to what the problem is that's causing the illness or the dis-ease. We also do inner child healing. And there's a very, very powerful exercise of family dynamics. One of the most powerful holistic learning experience I've ever seen in my life as I witnessed that take place. So it's a lot of releasing of negative emotions, healing all of that, a lot of clearing within through exercises of forgiveness as well. And then part of the course is also we write something that starts to create a new life story for us, and we write what it is that we want to create. And when you write that, it's amazing how all the energy and feelings within you and within your body change just writing and reading that for yourself. So part of the challenge is that we give our power away by blaming the past, other people, or difficult events for our frustration. But when we learn to step outside the world of blame, we can then choose to really create peace, harmony, and balance in our minds, within ourselves, in our hearts. And that's what we will find happens more and more in our lives. So it's about creating a life full of self-love, more self-esteem, good health, abundance and prosperity, loving relationships, physical and emotional well-being, and of course, spiritual growth. So just to tell you as a wrap-up before we do the meditation, next year, next Meaningful Monday on the 5th of December, we will be doing a year in reflection. So it's about wrapping up the year. I'll give you something you can do there. And as for the events, Heal Your Life workshop is Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. It's on the 15th and 16th of December, which is a Thursday and Friday. So you definitely have the weekend just to reflect and process emotions. There are only 10 seats left. Please, if you want to book, do book. As for the Silver Method, the next classes are in February and May. Those are the dates. That's the price. They're on my website at the bottom, Janine Shuck International. Just go find events and you'll find them there. And then the mastermind for next year, I'm really excited, is John Maxwell's best-selling book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. An amazing book. It really is a wonderful, wonderful book for anyone. And leadership does not mean that you're in a position like a supervisor or manager at work. Everyone's a leader, every single person, because you're influencing people every day in your relationship at home, friends, colleagues, work, everywhere. So leadership is influence. So it's about developing the leadership or the influence, positive influence within you. All right. Please grab a paper and pen because you're going to write some answers down at the end of the meditation, and just get comfortable. And I'll start in about 30 seconds. Are you having Heal Your Life next year? Judy, yes, I will. Now that I'm certified, I will be running classes. I don't have my dates for next year set yet. Only the Silver Method dates are set for next year. I've still got to do the calendar for Heal Your Life. So this is just my very first workshop, my inaugural one, I call it. But I will have next year. So if you're on my mailing list, Judy, you'll get that information. If you're not on my mailing list, to join it, just visit my website, Janine Shuck International, and sign up there for my newsletter, and you'll get all the events that way. All right. Okay, everyone, if you're ready to begin, I'll just play some. Those dates are set, Janine, 15, 16. John, yes, they set. We went back and forth with talking to a lot of people today and working out the dates, and 15, 16 are the dates, yes. So that's now set, if that's okay. All right. All right, so just find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a nice, deep, slow belly breath in. Big, deep breath. And as you exhale, just relax, let go. And take another deep breath. And when you exhale this time, just exhale through your mouth like you're blowing out a candle. So, and really relax. I'd like you to now start to relax from the top of your head, flowing slowly downward. So relax your scalp, focus on your scalp, the top of your head, and just feel it gently relaxing, melting, tensions releasing. Relax your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks. Relax your whole face. Relax your tongue and jaw. And take another slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel your shoulders, arms, and hands relax. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly, and rhythmically. And as you take another deep breath in, relax your chest as you exhale. And now take a real deep breath into your lower belly, and as you exhale, relax your belly, relax your abdomen. Feel yourself starting to let go, releasing all tensions in your body. Relax your thighs, relax your knees, relax your calves, relax your feet. You're now going to create in your mind your ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined, somewhere that you've actually been, or somewhere that you'd like to go. And allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed. Begin to experience this place right now and relax. Now that you've created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light into the scene. Place it wherever you choose. This waterfall is gentle, allowing you to stand under the cascading white light. This light is a healing energy, a clearing energy. Your waterfall of white light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under the white healing light. Allow this white light to swirl around you, encompassing you within its glow. It's clearing all the stress, tension, and clutter away of not only the day, the past week, past month, or past year, but of your entire lifetime. Clearing your energy field, clearing your atmosphere, your aura. As the light clears your energy field, just notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face. And see how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. and notice how your energy field is expanding out as you are radiating love. This waterfall of light is always available to you whenever you need it. All you need to do is close your eyes and imagine your ideal place of relaxation and immerse yourself in this healing white light. I now want you to imagine being totally relaxed and almost going within you as if you are going through a corridor within yourself. And along this corridor, there are many doors. There are some old doors to the past that are ready to be closed. And there are new doors ready to be opened on wonderful new ways of being and wonderful new ways of believing. So as you look at these doors, I want you just to ask yourself, what are the patterns I'm ready and willing to let go of? And imagine closing those doors. There may be resentment, guilt, fear, stress, anger, self-rejection. Imagine closing those doors. And now walk forward along the corridor and see some beautifully painted doors waiting for you to open them. What new patterns do you want to welcome into your life? Imagine opening these new doors. They may be doors of joy, fun, peace, healing, prosperity, love, self-love, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, freedom, self-worth, self-esteem. What new doors do you want to open? Imagine opening those new doors. And once they're opened, just be at peace knowing that you've opened that door and new beginnings will start to happen for you. Now we're going to say a few affirmations mentally to ourselves. Just repeat mentally after me. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts, suggestions, and images bring me benefits and advantages I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. I attract positive people. I am loved and give love without condition. I respect and are respected by others. All my relationships are harmonious. I communicate effectively. I listen and I am heard. My job brings me satisfaction. I am valued by my colleagues, my family, my friends. I say positive things to people. All my communications are clear, kind, and supportive. I'm always treated fairly and respectfully. I value people and I am a valuable person myself. Now it's time to set our intention for the month of November, the month ahead. You're going to write down the answers now to these questions and then take a deep breath and go back into meditation once you finish writing. Just write down your first impressions, just the first thing that pops in your head. The first question: what do I need to focus on for the month ahead? Next question: what steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? Next question: what do I need to let go of? And the last question: is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to do? Was there anything else I need to know? Write down anything that comes to mind. And just allow a deep breath and relax. Slowly bring your attention back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health. Feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health. Feeling better than before. Okay, thank you very much. Did you all enjoy that? Hope you got some good answers. If you got any answers, I recommend you trust them. They are probably from your own intuition, which will guide you right. So definitely trust those answers. I'm going to stop